Hello and welcome to Faithfully Stampin' with Jennifer Helm. I am Jennifer Helm, the Faithful Stamper, an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! Today I have for you a quick and easy sketch card. This is inspired by Patsy Waggoner, and a lot of times I might need cards or I'm just in the mood to make cards, but I'm not in the mood for anything fancy. I don't want to sit with pencils and rulers and lots of measurements for days on end trying to figure out a fun fold. I just want something I can put together quick and easily. So this is a great card for that because it's a simple sketch design that you can take this general idea and run with it in a million different directions. So I'm going to show you how to make this. First up, you need a card base. This is a card base of Sweet Sorbet. It is 8.5 by 5.5, scored down the middle. Now you can also use the long skinny card base. It does not have to be this format. If you prefer the other style of card base, that is fine too. It makes no difference for this particular card. So I have my card base folded, ready to go. Next, I'm going to take a panel of Designer Series paper that is 5.25 by 4. Now you don't have to use Designer Series paper. You can also use cardstock. You can use embossed cardstock. So you have options. And I'll show you some more of those options when we get to the samples at the end of the video. You do not need any special adhesive for this card. You just need less persnickety adhesive than I have. And I knew that was going to happen. I ran out of my tape runner. So we'll switch to the backup and hope this one has a little more left in it. But you do not need any specific adhesive, so if you like liquid glue, feel free to use that. Tape runner, it is your choice. So this just gets centered on the front of the card. Next up, you will need two pieces. First of all, you will need a piece of cardstock that measures 3 inches by 4. And then you will need a piece of Designer Series paper. And this piece of Designer Series paper is 2 3/4 inches wide by 3 3/4 inches tall. And so we're just going to layer these together. All my colors came out of this piece of Designer Series paper. I decided I wanted to use this as my focal point on the front of the card, and then I pulled all my colors together from there. So this is Evening Evergreen. And these two are just going to get layered together. Let's see. And then it is up to you if you want to layer this flat on the card or you can pop it up on dimensionals. I have opted for this one to layer it flat. And I'm going to position this panel slightly lower than centered. You can center it if you want, but I want to leave a little extra space at the top for the punch I'm planning to use. So I'm going to put it just a little bit below the center point and then press that down. To continue, I'm going to stamp my greeting. First up, I'm going to use my double oval punch and a scrap of soft succulent. Let me see if this one is big enough. Ooh, just by the skin of my teeth. So, scalloped oval out of soft succulent. I like to make really good use of my scrap paper. And then next, I have my strip of basic white for the sentiment piece here on my card. So, Sweet Sorbet ink to match that card base. And almost forgot the important part, the stamp set that I am using this evening, which is the Lovely and Lasting photopolymer stamp set. Since it is photopolymer, it does not have a built-in cushion like the red rubber cling stamps do, so I need just a little cushion underneath to make sure I get the best impression with my stamp. So I just tap gently in my ink and then center here on my scrap paper, and then this strip will fit perfectly here on that bottom half of the punch with the solid oval. So once I get that centered, I can just pop that right out. I'm going to set this to the side and layer it together in a moment. I'm going to go ahead and finish stamping my envelope and the inside of my card while I've got my ink pads out. So here's my envelope. And one thing I love about the stamp set, besides that it covers a variety of sentiments, is that it has these 4 little stamps, which are perfect accent stamps. I like having something on the corners of my envelope or on the inside of my card, and I have lots of options to choose from. So I can come back to the stamp set even when I'm using a different stamp set for my words or my design, because chances are something here might work with it. So I love that. And I have my little floral stamp here that is perfect for the corner. So I'm going to go with that in my Sweet Sorbet ink. And this time I'm going to do both bottom corners of my envelope. Could even do 4 if I wanted, but I'm going to keep it at the 2. And then I am also going to stamp, this is a panel of basic white that is 5 1/4 by 4. And this time I'm going to go with the top and bottom corners diagonally. I could even do all 4 corners here if I wanted to, but my little accents are in place. And then I'm going to switch to Evening Evergreen ink for my inside sentiment. And that says, "Happiest of days to you." Nice cheery message to go for my birthday card recipient. And then that is ready to be put on the inside of my card. So here's that card base. I'm going to bring over my oval punches and layer these together. Now I'm going to put this oval punch on with dimensionals. You could glue it flat if you wanted. It is totally up to you how much dimension you want on your cards. Now this I'm going to put centered at the top. You could move it from side to side. It depends on your design, but you have that freedom to play around with it if you want. Next, I'm going to glue my inside panel on. And then the last thing I need to do is just add a little embellishment to the front of my card. So you can see this is not a totally fancy card. It's quick and simple. Once you pick your paper and your colors, you can roll right through making these cards. Mass producing them is very easy. So to finish my card, I'm going to add some of our brushed butterflies. These are fantastic. They have little glue dots on the back and they're thin, so they do not punch holes when they go through the postal system, which can be handy sometimes. So my little brushed brass butterflies there for an accent, and that card is ready to go in the mail to its recipient just like that. Quick and simple. Now I do have more samples to show you. One quick way to change up the look of your card is to simply change one of the panels of Designer Series paper. I just used a different piece from the same Designer Series paper set, and really that's all I changed. And then I changed the color of ink, and I did change and use some of my brushed metallic elements instead of those butterflies. And the only thing I changed on the inside was the color of those corner accents. So quick and easy, and remarkable difference in the look of the card, though it's the same exact layout. But as I mentioned, you can very easily change up the design. For example, on this card, I used embossed cardstock for my main layer. I paired it with the Designer Series paper that I chose, and instead of just embellishments down on the corner, I fussy cut a posy, or yep, it's a posy, from the Painted Posies stamp set that we have. Fussy cut that and added on the corner, and then I changed up the shape of my punch. So you're not tied into those oval. You can use whatever shape punch or die cut that you like. So here I have a different layout, same element pieces, just arranged slightly differently. And then I added this with dimensionals as opposed to laying flat on that card. So lots of different options there. For this next card, I opted for a stamped background where I stamped leaves tone on tone on the soft succulent cardstock. I added my punch in a slightly different place, and I selected a sticker from the matching Memories and More card kit that we have in our new catalog. and that pairs beautifully with the Designer Series paper I chose. Added some retired elements, and that card is ready to go, along with a matching strip of Designer Series paper inside and on my envelope flap. Now, if you do not have a demonstrator you are currently working with and you would like a copy of a catalog, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to send you one. And you can also check out my website online for any of these products that you see tonight. Another of those products you can check out online is from this next card. This is from our He's the Man suite. It's obviously all things masculine. And what I love about it is we have sheets of Designer Series paper, all with manly themes, barbecue, camping, cars. And so you have a wide selection there, but it also comes with 2 sheets of pre-die cut, pre-printed images. So all you have to do is pop them out and stick them on your card, and that is exactly what I did for this card. So it doesn't get much simpler than that. Cut the cardstock, cut the paper, some add-ons on dimensionals, done. And then of course I had to accent my envelope flap to keep the theme going. Quick and simple is the name of the game. So here is another design. This one, instead of using a punch, I used a die cut. These are from our new Stylish Shapes die set. That's a tongue twister for me. But if you have a die cut machine, I highly recommend it because you get 4 different size banners. You also get a selection of squares and circles that all have this little perforated edge around the inside for a little accent. And I just think it's lovely. And again, you can experiment with the placement of whatever elements you want to put on your card and can very easily change the look just by a simple placement change. And of course, I had to go with my cherry stamped on the envelope and the message inside, wishing you a sweet day. I also have this card. I featured the print design on the back panel of Designer Series paper. This panel here is actually the reverse side of the print paper. It is ombre. It just doesn't come across totally well just because of the size of the paper that I used, but it's a lovely color. I stamped directly on the background with the stamp. This is from our Bottled Happiness stamp set, and I added the jug, which I fussy cut, a little linen double bow, some of our iridescent rhinestones, which really help pull the card together. And this is one of those circles from the Stylish Shapes die set. This is the smallest one, so they graduate up from there. And I haven't finished the inside, but this one I think is going to be a get well card. And then last but not least, you're not tied into this orientation. For this one, for example, I don't have the punch at the top. I liked it better at the corner and change the shape. So lots of different options there, but you can also change the orientation on the card. For example, with this last card. And the measurements are the same, just watch your width for your Designer Series paper, make sure it's going in the right direction. And then I added my label here at the bottom instead of at the top. So again, play with positioning. You might like it on one corner or the other. You might like it on the top more than the bottom. Totally up to you. Lots of possibilities for you to play with. So I hope you enjoyed learning how to make the quick and easy sketch card. If you have not already, I would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can click the notification bell and then it will let you know every time I post a new live video, which is typically about twice a week. You can also follow me on Facebook at The Faithful Stamper and check out the projects and challenges and other things that I share there on that page. And I would love to have you. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and happy crafting.